So let me tell you again about the strategy. This can be done on any time frame. Basically, this is a pullback strategy, and we are using Donchian channel. So generally, I use a Donchian channel 40, and you can do it in any stock index, even in MCX currency, whatever you want. So essentially, and you can even do it in different time frames. So depending on whether you want to trade an intraday or whether you want to trade positional, uh, you can change the time frame. So if you want to do intraday, you can probably trade on 5 minutes or 15 minutes. If you want to trade on a swing basis, you can trade it on a daily time frame or an hourly time frame. So I'll just quickly tell you what is the setup. Basically, I'm showing you Nifty here on a 15 minutes time frame, and I've added Donchian channel 40. So let me just show you the setting. So it's a normal setting of 40 length, and what it tells you is it gives us the high and the low of the previous 40 candles of the previous. So this line at the top, this tells me what is the high of the previous 40 candles, and this line tells me what is the low of the previous 40 candles. Now what we are trying to do here is we are looking for, once the candle touches the high part, so once it, like, let's say this is the high part, right? So it has touched the high part, then we want it to have at least 3 candles of pullback. So you can see here that it has made more than 3 candles of pullback, and now this becomes a valid trade for me. So as soon as this breaks, I will go for a buying trade. So I will go for a buying trade here. Once I've taken the entry, I'll wait for 2 more candles. So after I've got 2 more candles, I will switch my stop loss from my initially stop loss. I'll tell you the initial stop loss. The initial stop loss is the low here. So this is my initial stop loss when I've taken the entry. But once I've got the 2 candles done, I will shift my stop loss to the entry price. So that is a good part of this strategy, that as soon, almost after just 2 or 3 candles, I have already shifted my stop loss to the cost price, and then I cannot make losses, and then I can keep trailing, or I can put a 1:1 or a 1:2 kind of a target and take the trade. So let me show you another example. You can see here that this is where the high was, this was the high. So this green candle was touching the high of Donchian 40. Then I'm looking for 3 pullbacks. So these are the 3 pullbacks, more than 3 pullbacks, and then this becomes a valid level for me. I got an entry here, and once 2 candles are done, I will shift my stop loss from here all the way till here, and I can keep trading. I have also shown you another example here. You can see here that this red candle was at the high of the Donchian channel. Now I'm looking for 2 more candles. I've got my pullback. This is where the entry comes, and once 2 more candles are done, that means this candle and this candle. So after 2 more candles, my stop loss will be this. My stop loss will shift from this point. So this is my initial stop loss. It will shift to my entry price. So that's the best part, as I'm telling you, that just after 2 candles, we are able to shift our stop loss to the cost price. So now I'm showing you Bank Nifty on an hourly time frame. So let's go through the steps one by one. The first step is we are looking for the candle to touch the Donchian channel. That means it is currently on its either previous 40-day high or previous 40-day low. So all these candles are valid candles. So that's the first step. But once we get these candles, we are looking for 3 candles of pullback. So it only comes here. So this is where the pullback comes. Once we have got the pullback, so the second step is the pullback. Once we have got the second step done, now this level becomes a valid entry level for me. So here is where I'm getting entry. Once I get the entry, I put this as the stop loss, the initial stop loss, and now I'm waiting for either 1:1 target or a 1:2 target. But I will also be looking to change my stop loss, so shift my stop loss to the cost price. For that, I will look for 2 candles, two candles. So this is where my 2 candles are done. As soon as I get these 2 candles, I will shift my initial stop loss to the entry price. So now I cannot lose money in this stock, in this trade, and my stop loss is it. So that's fine. So let's try to see another trade. See, if you see here, all these are valid levels. This is where it touches the Donchian channel. Then I'm looking for at least 3 candles of pullback. I've got my pullback. So this becomes a valid entry level for me. I get an entry here. So I've taken the buying entry with an initial stop loss of this. So this is a longer stop loss, a big stop loss. Once I get 2 candles, I will shift my stop loss to this, and I will exit somewhere here, which is a 1:1 trade. and this I'm showing on a 1 hour time frame. Let me also show you the similar strategy on a bigger time frame. So let us see one example on even bigger time frame. So I'm showing you daily time frame this time. So our first step is we want a candle to touch the Donchian channel. This is where it touched it, and it touched it again. So this becomes the latest candle. Then we are looking for the second step, which is at least 3 candles pullback. We've got the pullback now. So this becomes a valid entry point for me. I get an entry here on this candle. This is where I get the entry. My initial stop loss is this. This is my initial stop loss. I get my 2 more candles. So I will shift my stop loss to the entry price. So I cannot do loss here. Now I will trade for at least 1:1 or 1:2, and I will exit somewhere here. So I get a 1:2 profit. But now look at the beauty of this strategy. I have again got a candle which is touching the Donchian channel. I have got, okay, this is only a 2 pullback, so I will wait for it. But as soon as I get 3 pullbacks, I will take another entry and assume that there was another candle here. We would have got the 3 pullbacks. We would have taken another entry here. So this would have been a second entry, and again we would have made profits again. So this is how, even in a trending market, since the market goes by taking pullbacks, we can keep getting entries and we can keep making profits. And this, as I showed you, is on daily time frame. That means this is more like a swing trade where we might have to hold the trade for at least 4 to 5 days.